We are live. Okay. Welcome everyone to Holiday Romance Book Chat. It is great to have you here. I'm so excited about our guests. These are some of the people, most everyone has been here before. Kaylie's a newbie, but you're going to just have fun, I'm sure. We all love to laugh. We love romance, and we love talking about the books that we love.
And we're not big gurus either, so.
Oh my goodness, right?
So, if we mess up, it's.
Jay Anderson says hello, by the way. Oh, I know there's a way of just sending it to the thing, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to figure that out. Technology is just, new technology is always fun. And we are using a new technology, y'all. So be patient with me. Okay, so we're going to go around the room and introduce ourselves. I'm Lucy Monroe, and I write lots of different kinds of romance. I've written many Christmas books because I love writing Christmas themed romance. But I was on Facebook the other day, and there was like this little list of things, and a friend of mine, Erin Nichols, had posted it to her page, and she was like, so if you had to take one thing out of a holiday romance, what would it be? And there's like this list of snowball fight and making them for the fire and like all these things. And I was like, that's what's wrong with my writing, apparently, because I hadn't been including all of that. So, y'all, I write it, but apparently I don't know all the tropes, and I am learning still. And so that's kind of fun. Okay, so that's me, and I'll pass it on to the next one.
So thank you for having me, Lucy and Carrie. My name is Denise Wheatley, and I write romantic suspense along with sweet romance. I've written some steamy romance in my past too, but primarily I'm writing romantic suspense. And I don't know if anybody else in our room today is writing about serial killers at Christmas time. I've been a naughty girl because that's what I've been doing.
That's awesome.
I, like Lucy, I love Christmas. I love writing about Christmas. So in the midst of all the hot chocolate and those snowball fights, there are people dying in my books. So
I love it.
I'm totally down for that.
But I've written some sweet stuff too. So, but anyway, I'm born and raised in Chicago, been reading books, loving books all my life. Started writing my first book straight out of college, and I haven't stopped since. So happy to be here. Love talking about the holidays with some of my favorite people today.
Yay.
Yay.
All right, so today I'm Kristen McKanagh. And as Kristen McKanagh, I write sweet contemporary romance, Kittens and Christmas, very specifically. And then I also write steamy contemporary romance as Katie Scott, which also includes some Christmas books in there. And I write paranormal romance and YA fantasy with Heat as Abigail Owen. So I write the spectrum. If it has an HEA, I love it. I have Christmas across all three pen names. So Christmas is also one of my very, very favorite holidays. In fact, I think one of my favorite memories of Christmas and holiday romance is every year my mom would put pretty much all of the Harlequin Christmas books in my stocking. And I would just read them all Christmas. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
I love that story.
Oh, is it my turn?
Oh,
I'm so nervous, you guys. I'm so
You're fantastic. Don't you worry.
My name is Kaylie Newell, and I write contemporary romance. I used to write steamy, but now I write sweet. I think maybe it's because I'm lazy now and I just don't.
Steamy seems to take effort.
It's so much easier just to close that door and let the reader imagine. But yeah, I write for Thule, and I just signed on with Harlequin, which is, I mean, a dream come true. So yay! So yeah, I've written a lot of Christmas books. I love to write about Christmas. Yeah, so that's basically my writing in a nutshell.
That is great. Next.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Darby Baham. I have not ever written a Christmas book, but I love watching Christmas movies and reading Christmas books and everything that's associated with Christmas. I am probably what you might call a Christmas stan. In all the best ways, right? Like, come from a huge family that like Christmas is the biggest, most important time for us. as soon as Thanksgiving is over, you hear Jackson 5 Christmas album on the record player. Like, it's just not a negotiation. So I am author of the Friendship Chronicles series with Harlequin. Latest book in that series came out at the end of September called London Calling. And I write contemporary romance, also women's fiction. I would say it's certainly not sweet, maybe not desire level steamy. So somewhere in like a good balance in between there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to say, if anyone has like subscribed to my newsletter, you know that I'm currently reading Denise's Christmas book, Love at the Icicle Cafe. So that's all in my head right now. I'm like, do I want to move to Germany?
Thank you, Darby.
I love that.
Okay, I guess that's me next. I'm Carrie Nichols. I write for Harlequin Special Edition. I have, my 7th book with Special Edition will be coming out at the end of this month. Yay. It's called Hero and His Dog. And I've only written one Christmas book. It's The Scrooge of Loon Lake. And I had fun with it because I love Grumpy Sunshine. And I'm sort of like Darby, I guess, and the in-between. Not real spicy, but not sweet either. It's not graphic, but it's open door. And I try to inject the humor that I put in my stories also in the sex scene if I can.
You do that. I love it. Y'all, the other day I was writing a love scene, and I always refer to them as love scenes because I write romance and they lead to love. It doesn't offend me when other people refer to them as sex scene. That's totally fine. But I just, in my head, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's their first hookup and they don't know each other, or if it's because I know what's coming. So in my head, I'm always writing a love scene, right? So, but I was writing a love scene the other day and I was thinking I was going to go kind of like Carrie, not too graphic and pretty, level. And you know what happened? I didn't.
That's not what happened.
That's not you.
It totally took over, and the characters were like, "Let's do this." And I was like, "Well, okay, y'all insist. We're gonna do it."
I understand that. Yeah.
I think it would be easier for me to write totally sweet than to try to write in between. Because I can either close that door or it's just open.
Wide open.
I have a funny story. I don't know if I told you all this. Years ago, when I first started writing and my family started to read my books, one of my cousins who likes to kind of tease other people, kind of get a little, and asked my husband, "What do you think of your wife writing all these sex scenes in her books?" And my husband said, "I really enjoy the research."
Yes, he does.
I'm like, "You're the best, honey." He's always been proud and not in any way embarrassed by what I do, which I love because, not everyone gets romance. Not everyone gets writing the type of story I do, but yeah, he always has. So that's really nice.
And I know
that's great. I think of like when first book came out, I was like giving all of my family members the heads up, like, just so you know, my grandmother, like my mom's passed, all these things. I'm like, just so you know, there's some scenes in there that and the person, so you might think it's me, And my grandmother goes, I have children, right? Like,
yeah.
I love that.
I'm not worried about your little sexy in your book.
That's exactly how my mom reacted too. She's like, I don't know what you think I've been doing for the last 15 years, but
Well, but for me, it was my dad. And it's because the first of the books of mine that he decided to read was my Dragon Shifters.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, Dad, but just so you know. And he was like, well, pretty much the same response your parents had, except that I was like, yeah, but these are dragons, Dad. A little different with dragons.
When my first book came out, I Wish I Never Met You, that one came out a long, long time ago. My family read it. My family members were calling my mother. Like,
Oh, no.
in this book. And my mother said, you all know Denise is grown. She can write whatever she wants. Because my mom growing up, she didn't hide her books from me. Even the erotica, she didn't hide anything. And I got into them too. So aside from the Jackie Collins and the Sidney Sheldon, I was into the Denise N as well. So she knew. And, she had to let them know she's grown. She can do what she wants.
Yeah. I have two boys and they're grown, and they say, we love you and we're so proud of you and we're going to buy your books, but we're not going to read them. I said, okay, that's fine.
I get it. Even my brother, he was like, sis, I just had to put it down for a second. I went back to it. Like, it's okay. It's fine.
It's so funny. When I first published, all of my grandmother on my dad's side was still living, and all of her sisters, my great aunts, which were like the heroes of my life. Okay. And they were in this was 20 years ago, and they were in their 70s. All right. And some of them in their 80s, because they were my great aunts and my grandmother. And so I was a little nervous, but they're all like, we want signed copies. I said, okay. So I gave them to them. And my grandmother, we were at the beach with my mom, and my grandmother starts reading. She doesn't put it down. She just reads the book. And my great aunts were like, oh, you write the best books. I'm like, you guys are adorable. They had no issue with any of it. They're like, they just loved the books. And they were my biggest fans until they passed. Aww. They were so supportive and wonderful. And they read every single book that came out until, like I said, until they passed.
I love that.
Which was just really, really special. But we should talk about Christmas romance now. Because this is what we're here for. And holiday romance. It doesn't have to be Christmas.
Yeah,
I love holiday romance. Last year, Tara Pammy wrote a short, still on, I think, on harlequin.com. It's about Diwali. I think it's like, what is it called? The light of love or something. I don't remember. But you can look up Tara Pammy right on there, and you should be able to find it. One of my favorite types of romance is Hanukkah romance. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is great. This is great. I'm just posting this. And
I like that. We just didn't talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and just chat about our favorite holiday romance movies. The only thing is, we are definitely talking romance or romantic suspense, right? Although, guys, some of my favorite holiday books are mysteries. A good cozy mystery set at Christmas or set in the holidays, I love. Oh my God, I just love it.
I'll have to get some recommendations from you, Lucy.
Oh, I gotcha. Because there's, and which, Denise, I love that you're writing a serial killer at Christmas.
Me too.
I do.
That's awesome.
Oh my God.
That's totally like, yes.
Can I just tell you all really quickly? I've got to stop going to bed watching true crime because I leave my television on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watch it all the time.
I had a dream last night. I don't know if you all know who that singer is, Sean Kingston. I had a dream last night he was trying to kill me. Real. I've got to stop. I went to bed with Investigation Discovery on and woke up in a panic because Sean Kingston was trying to kill me. I gotta cut it out. But
when we were Skyping with one of my sons last week, my husband said, I don't know about your mother. She's watching all these true crime shows. I don't know.
Watch out. We know where to bury the bodies.
That's right. That's right. I love it.
I guess I like it because it's, well, I don't like the ones where we still don't know who did it or something like that. I want at the end. Oh yeah, we caught the guy. He's in jail. Don't worry about him. You know.
I tried to watch the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix, and I don't like it because it leaves you hanging.
It's unsolved.
I don't know
Unsolved.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. I am so
Yeah.
there. I really need to know resolution. I do
Yeah.
in real life too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the happily ever after in us. We're like,
Yeah.
I gotta get
That's what I was
caught.
gonna say. Yeah.
yeah.
That's probably it.
You need
Yeah.
it all
Okay,
wrapped
so-
in a bow at the end.
Let's start with favorite holiday movies. Let's say, what's your favorite holiday movie to watch?
While you were sleeping, I still watch that every year.
I love that
that
one.
one. Yes.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, and I like, probably nobody's ever heard of it, and it's not really well, I guess there is a romance because the dad gets together with his teacher, which I hope I didn't ruin it, but it's called Millions, and it's just
Oh yeah,
sweet, isn't it? Yes. Have you seen it, Denise?
I have. Yeah.
I just love it. That boy is just, he lost his mother, and I mean, he talks to all these saints because he's wants to know if his, because everybody said his mother was a saint, and he wants to know if she made it up to heaven. And it's
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie. I need to. Okay, text me that. Text me that. That sounds adorable.
it is, yes. And I mean, it's just.
I have to pop in here because Jay Anderson was just saying White Christmas is a favorite, and we used to watch it every year with my mom. And my sisters and I sung the sister thing with the fans for her 1 year as part of her Christmas thing. I love the romance in it. I just love the whole thing. It's so funny. But anyway, go ahead. Keep talking.
Are we going around the room with our favorite?
No, just pop in. Pop on in.
Well, I'll go. I've got three, and I'll go quickly. But I don't know if you all have heard of Merry Little Christmas, starring Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child.
The whole series.
The whole series was so sweet.
Ooh,
The
I'm gonna
first
have
one- That was a good one. I think that one is on Lifetime, but it starts with her. She's a professional woman with this beautiful, pristine, all white home, but she's got this family. Her family's pretty eclectic, and they come to her house for the holidays, and they're all over the place. So she's dealing with the family dynamic. She's single. The hot guy moves into her neighborhood. So the series kind of tells her story from start to finish, them getting together, getting married, and you see the dynamic along the way with the relationship.
I'll have to look for that. Yeah.
That's a good one. So I love that one for the sweet coziness of it. I love the holiday. Everybody loves a holiday.
Yes.
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 All of mine.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm stealing all of Darby's movies. Darby, we'll share.
I could fall in love with Jack Black. There's something about a
Oh,
feminine.
Yes. But when you take a poll, I think the holiday is on almost
my gosh,
everybody's list.
Yeah.
So then for my naughty one, I love like movies like The Hangover and Bridesmaids. So I
Bridesmaids is my favorite ever.
Yes.
I love it.
So did you all see Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart?
Yes.
No.
That's one of my favorite. And it's kind of like that screwball, hangover type comedy, but it's set at Christmas time. So funny. I love that movie. Ryan plays this nerdy kid in high school who blossoms afterwards. He's determined to go back and show his friends. I think they're back in Jersey. He goes to Hollywood, makes it big, goes back to Jersey to show everybody who he became. And then the high school kids really peaked in high school. So he's kind of like the hot stuff once he goes back home. But there are a lot of lessons to be learned. And there's a Christmas setting, and it's hilarious. So.
I need to be writing these down. That sounds
No, I've been making notes.
Yeah.
Carrie will send us all a little thing of all the things. Because
I need to jump in before Denise already took two of mine. So
I'm sorry, Darby. Ryan and I are like
Everybody else
twins,
take
though.
one.
we are.
It makes sense. We're like sisters.
Yeah, we're like soulmates
I love
across the country, from Chicago to New York. There we are. So in addition to the one she already mentioned, which I just have to pause and say, I don't know if you guys saw the hoopla when there had been a report that they were going to do a sequel to The Holiday, and then the director came out and was like, "No, we're not doing that." Everyone was very upset. Like, don't get my hopes up for that. Anyway, the Santa Anas. That's all I know. So my other one that thankfully you didn't mention was The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, which is
Yes.
stars to me. She's in New Orleans, so I already love it there, right? And she randomly takes a test and believes that she's gonna die soon.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
All
that's
the
the one she
things,
thinks
yeah,
she's dying.
all the things that like she has stopped herself from doing all her life, like that she's been afraid to do. She's like, you know
This
what?
sounds
I got
awesome.
2 weeks to live. I am going to do everything I've ever been afraid of doing. One of which is falling in love with that cute guy who she's worked with forever. And then turns out, spoiler alert, she's not dying.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's
sounds
awesome. Queen Latifah is amazing in that movie.
She is. I love that one.
She's amazing.
I love her. I think she's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I do. Yeah.
LL Cool J is the love interest. Like, when does he ever in like a romance comedy? It's
That's good. Say.
yeah.
Nice, nice.
I love it.
So for me, somebody already, I think it's yeah, I see Susan mentioned it already. Love Actually is definitely
Yes,
really on my list. And I think part of what I love about that is that it's such a good, because you get a bunch of different love stories and a bunch of different types of love stories. They're all different, and not all of them are happy, which usually I'm like, I must have my happy, but like even the kind of the heartbreaking one with the husband and the wife, which now to me is even more poignant because Alan Rickman died. But like that's just I come out of that movie just like, oh, this is so, fantastic, like happy vibes out of that movie.
Love that one.
You see the Diane Sawyer special 20 years later of Love Actually?
No way.
Oh yeah, she interviewed the little boy. She interviewed Hugh Grant and a few others, and the writer Richard Curtis. And the story with was it Laura Linney and her brother? He said that was based on his family, his life.
Oh,
Isn't
He had
that
a sister that had.
yeah.
You'll have to watch that. Y'all.
I like that it also showed different kinds of love, like the little boy and the stepfather and the and the sister brother relationship. That was just it's good that way. I'm gonna go the flip side though and share one that I did not, one of my least favorite Christmas movies, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I'm sure. I cannot stand It's a Wonderful Life. I can't stand that movie. 90% of that movie is depressing. It's depressing. Why do I want to watch that? That is not an uplifting movie. That sucks.
I have to agree. It is depressing, but I watch it every single year. I can quote it backwards and forwards. My kids get so entirely sick of me quoting the movie. But you're right. It is totally depressing. It is.
I'm gonna admit I haven't watched that movie since I became a woman. I think since I was my second year of marriage, because I too find it depressing, and I don't like the fact that he gives in like that. I want it to be written differently, even though I know it's iconic and classic, wonderful. I'm probably going to get letters about this, but it's like, I get that. I just can't
subject myself to an hour and 20 minutes of for 10 minutes of yay. Sorry.
All right.
Here, I've never watched
my favorite holiday movie. And that's Hard Love. Has anybody watched it? It's the one. Okay. Does anybody watch Catfish? Because I'm totally fascinated.
Oh, I used to. Yeah.
So, Hard Love is about this couple, and they are chatting online, and he is pretending to be his friend. So he's got his friend's pictures because he thinks he's better looking, and he's doing all this chatting with her via. So she shows up at his house at Christmas because she thinks he's the one.
Oh, yes, I have seen this one.
Yeah, only he doesn't look like the guy that she's been talking to. So this whole thing is kind of a little bit farcical because he introduces her to the guy, and that's kind of the deal. His family thinks she's his girlfriend, so she pretends to be his girlfriend for their sake while she's dating the other guy. Only, that's not how things are going to go. Yeah. So it's a really cute movie. It also does a great job with Asian representation, which I love because my husband, is his mom is from Vietnam, and my kids and my grandkids really like to see that on the screen. So it was a really good movie. I love it.
I have to look for that one. You know what one I didn't like? Well, I've only watched it once, and somebody told me it was their favorite Christmas movie last night. So I said, well, maybe I'll give it another chance. The Family Stone.
I've never seen that one.
It's okay.
It's okay. And it's
I didn't get it. Maybe.
ensemble movie. But again, there's a lot going on in it where you're like, you know,
I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll,
I wasn't into that one either. It was okay.
Okay. I don't feel so bad because I was just like not into it.
No.
I will say another non-romance Christmas movie though, Bad Moms. I'm sorry, it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, Bad Moms.
That it makes me laugh so hard, and I'm usually not into comedies, but it's hilarious.
Darby, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, if I remember correctly, the one that Carrie was talking about,
Family Stone.
Right. Doesn't one of the characters end up with the brother, like
she comes with
the
one brother
brother of the guy who she was with? So that's just hard to really grasp there. Like that's not. I had come from a big family. That's not happening.
One of my favorite. This is probably going to be silly. One of my favorite movies was on a Hallmark one or Lifetime or one of those, The 9 Lives of Christmas. And it was, this firefighter with the cat and she had a cat and they, ended up together and everything. And I watched it every year because I just loved it. And then last year they came out with The 9 Kittens of Christmas. Instead of having somebody else's love story, they had broken up the original couple. And they were with other people, and then they got them back together, and I'm like, it ruined it for me. I was like, nope.
No.
Yeah. You do not break up the couple once the couple is together.
Yeah. I was like, they could have done it with maybe like he had a friend and she had a friend, and they got them together.
Right.
But when I found out that she was with, the movie started and she was with somebody else, and I think she was engaged to him and everything, and I'm like, what? No.
See, to me, that's writers who are not imaginative enough to figure outside of the box of that original romance. And that says to me they don't typically write romance.
Yeah, I was just
out a way to do a sequel to a romantic movie without breaking them up. They're not somebody who has a lot of experience.
No, because they could have like I say, had their friends and they were trying to get their friends together or something.
No.
I'm sorry, Lucy. I was just going to say that's a really popular movie. They play it every year. I think they may replay it during the same season because the man is a firefighter, right? And I mean, it's super popular. So yeah, they shouldn't have messed with that.
They messed with it, and it kind of ruined it for me.
Well, so I'm just going to say we're at the midpoint. We should probably pop over to books.
This is chat, right?
Wait, before we pop over to books, can I just say one more?
Yes, of course.
One more. It's a trilogy, and it does exactly what you say you shouldn't do, Lucy, but I love it too much. The character is completely messy. Bridget Jones' Diary.
I do too.
Yeah, that one is one of those ones where it's like, I don't care just how messy it is in their relationship. I'm in it.
I want to see that movie. I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard about it, it sets itself up to do the breakup and then the re-get together. It's like they start off with a messy relationship and and that makes sense, but you don't do a Hallmark style, and I think have some style of romance at the holidays, and then say, oh, by the way, we broke up and now we're going to have our get together movie. Like, that is just so lacking in creativity. It really
it ruined that original movie for me.
Well, and here's the thing: if at the end of the movie you are so sure they're going to stay together and somehow they don't,
then how can I trust anything?
Right. And also, they didn't sow the seeds of that breakup in that movie. Now, Bridget Jones' Diary, like I said, I haven't seen it, but from what my kids said, because they watched it and loved them, it was, you definitely got the sense from the first movie, like that ending was
Bridget's a mess.
It was not like some big, oh my gosh, how could this have happened thing. It was definitely probably everyone expected
happy for now. Happy for now.
Right. And okay, but let's talk books. Wasn't Bridget Jones' Diaries books to start with?
Right? Yes, it was.
Great books. Great books. Yeah.
Yes.
And I will say that my favorite Christmas books, like I said, one of them I'm going to list because I always say it every year because I probably reread this every year. It's Hercule Poirot's Christmas. I love that book. It's by Agatha Christie. And it is one of Hercule Poirot's better mysteries. It's adorable. It's set at a traditional British Christmas in the country at a country estate, and he's trying to prevent the loss of certain documents to the other side, and it's kind of pre-World War II, and so it's got that whole like keep it from the enemy vibe. Anyway, I just love all of it, the espionage, and there's a romance in it, and there's a mystery, and I love it all. I think it's really fun. But
and Carrie, you're still taking these notes, right? So we can get
yes, I wrote that down too.
Lucy, are we doing the circling the room again, or?
Oh, let's go ahead and do that. Let's circle the room. Denise,
okay.
Go
so
ahead.
I've got two, and you all know I'm great Christmas crazy. So my first one, K.D. Richards writes for Harlequin Intrigue. So we're Intrigue sisters, and she is an amazing author. She does fantastic romantic suspense. So this is Missing at Christmas. It's book 2 in her West investigation series. And it was just fantastic. I loved it. It's about an attorney whose sister has gone missing. Her sister's only 19. And the main character, Abby, ends up teaming up with an old flame who owns West Investigations. He's in the middle of a case as well. So he's using her as a cover to help her find her sister while he's working on this undercover case. Come to find out, their two cases are connected. So as they're trying to figure out where her sister is and what's going on with his investigation, their rekindled romance starts to bubble. These are pretty, Intrigue is pretty low steam, but you get that energy, you get the attraction throughout. You want to focus more on the thrill of the book, but Katie is a master at walking that fine line. So I really enjoyed this one. And then Reese Ryan came out with a Christmas book this year, A Valentine for Christmas. So good. This is that, Lucy, you'll like this, that older woman, younger man trope.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of that in there. And it's also second chance too. So good. It's about a woman, a career woman who ends up redirecting her career when her family buys Valentine Vineyards. And she goes back to her hometown or small town where she meets a younger doctor. And he's in town serving for 4 years because he made a promise to someone who paid his tuition. So they connect. Fake relationship is also involved here too. And you know what? I think that Reese does steam so well. Never too much, always enough. So good. So you get the steam, you get that good trope. So this was a great one too for me. So those are my two top ones for the year.
I love that you picked out very specific books because for me, I read all of the Harlequin books that come at me, basically that have Christmas anything in the title. I'm like, and this one, and this one, and this one. Yeah. See, I've read every single one of your Christmas books and loved them. So yeah, Lucy's books are always high on my lists. So those are high for me. Probably one of my other favorites, I tend to be more in the historical space. So like Joanna Lindsay had a couple of different, especially in her Mallory novels, she had a couple different Christmas ones. And so those are real high for me as well. But yeah, I just tend to be give me all the Christmas books at Christmas. And I do the same thing with all the Hallmark and the Lifetime. Like just bring me all the happily ever afters with Christmas jingle bells, please.
I'm kind of the opposite. This is probably not a popular opinion, but since I write so many Christmas books, I don't tend to read as many as I probably would otherwise. Mm-hmm. But I have my favorites. One of them is not, it doesn't take place around Christmas time, but it is a very wintry mystery. It's called An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. I don't know if anybody's ever read that. It's really, really good. It's a mystery that takes place in a really swanky hotel in the Catskill Mountains during a snowstorm. And of course, somebody gets murdered and they're all snowed in. It's really, really good. Not necessarily Christmassy, but really, really good. And then one of my other ones that I just love so much was a book from when I was a kid, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. I don't know if anybody's read that one, but it's so good, really good, and funny, really, really funny. So
I love it.
I love a funny one.
Yeah.
So, well, I think Lucy, Denise, and Carrie all know that I'm a very slow reader. But
me too. I'm super slow.
I think my book club that I'm in, I think we do like a book a quarter. And people always like, oh, you should join my book club. We read 2 books a month. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not. That is not for me. But that said, so I mentioned earlier on the call that I've been reading Denise's book, Love at the Icicle Cafe, and have been completely enjoying it. I've probably been reading it for about a month or so now, and at 80%. So I feel like I'm doing great. But I would say that's top of the list for me this year. Loving it. It's about, well, Denise, you can talk about your own book, but it's about young woman, ambitious woman. She's an attorney, trying to go out to be like partner, and then her parents kind of trick her to having to go and like figure out the sale of their Icicle Cafe. And then along the line, she runs into, this guy who she grew up with, and they start to connect again. And it's this whole storyline of like, what's actually more important to me? Like this family environment, like this, I'm enjoying like feeling fulfilled with like baking and, being in this community again and all this, but like I still have my ambitions and what's going to win out. So loving that so far. I have a ton of stuff on my TBR. So I've got, this is not a Christmas book, but it's a holiday book. I've got Roan Parrish's book. TBR, and I was trying to look and see, but my Kindle's acting up, but it's her book that came out around Halloween. So like loving, really excited to get to that one. And Lucy, I have one of your Millionaire Heir Christmas books also on my TBR. So excited to get to, I'm hoping, my goal is to start both of those this Christmas while I'm in New Orleans. Like I'll be reading to the baby, to my sister. Get them going good.
Start them young, Darby. Start them young.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
You will like romance too.
Hey, Carrie, before you get started, I just want to say, everyone watching, please go ahead and comment in with your favorite Christmas books, because I'll put it up and it'll show across the bottom, and then anyone watching it later will get the great recommendations y'all can make. So go ahead and do that. But go ahead, Carrie.
No, I see Susan's asking Colin Firth or Hugh Grant. I'm not sure what the.
Oh, that's from Bridget Jones' Diary. Yeah.
Okay.
Colin's the only answer.
Yeah. That's true. Yes. Although I do love Hugh Grant in certain,
just not in that series.
I loved him in Notting Hill. He was really good.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I loved him in About a Boy too.
Yeah,
that was excellent too.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, this year I've got. I guess it came out this year. Yes, the Snowball one.
Oh,
I love this. I bought the first one because of the kitten on the cover. I have to confess. I saw the kitten and I said, "Oh, I like that." So I like those. And one of my favorites that I do read over and over. It's actually more of a novella. It's she writes romantic suspense for Harlequin, Marilyn Papagno, and she wrote, it was called Holiday Protector, or Her Holiday Protector, and it was a novella, but it was about a woman a few days before Christmas. She gets released from jail.
You got me to read that. That was really
yes, and the thing about it was she didn't shy away from the woman. Did it? I mean, she took that money and she did it. She served her time, but it was just, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really, that was a good.
That was good. Yes, I really like that one.
We all deserve holiday love, Carrie. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, when you found out why she did it, it was like, okay, even the hero who was very black and white, it was right or wrong, and there was no gray area, but he even he accepted what she did.
I love it. Well, I think I mentioned earlier that some of my favorite books are Hanukkah romances, and now I can't remember the titles or the author. There's a series, it's about gay romance, and it's a series about Hanukkah, and it's this couple, talk about messy. They get together in book 1, book 2, they're still together, but he breaks up with them pretty soon after because the one guy he's afraid to like let people know. And then, but I love it because, and then I think in the last book, there is, their family is, so like his one guy's family celebrates Christmas, the other guy's family celebrates Hanukkah, and they have to bring it all together. And it's just really good. I just love the relationship and all the angst. There's a lot of angst. And if I remember the title, I'll post it on my Facebook or something. I can't remember right now, but I have it. You know, it's a book I've reread, and it's on my Kindle, but I just have no clue right now. My brain is going.
Usually when Lucy
I'm right
tells
there
me
with
the
you, Lucy.
title, I have to search all around the title because it's usually a variation of the title she gives me.
Right? Yeah. But I love holidays. And so I remember when Tara wrote the Diwali romance, I was so excited because just that, like the year before, just that year, I said, I really want to read one because I love the concept. It's such a beautiful concept for a holiday. I love that. And I just was craving a romance that kind of dealt in that, around that holiday and in that community and with that culture, and it's really good. Hers is really, really good. But yeah, so guys, this is fun. This is really fun. And if anyone wants to make any final recommendations, if anyone has any questions for the authors on the panel, please post them. Otherwise, we'll wrap up in a few minutes. So we can just chat for a couple of minutes. We'll see if anybody has any questions, and then we'll wrap up. Before we go, oh my gosh, I always say I'm going to do this, and I almost forgot. Let's start with, giving people a chance to ask any questions they want to. We're going to go around the room, and we're going to say what is most recent and what's coming next.
Right.
Okay, so let's start with you, Denise.
Okay, so you all know I have my books next to me. So right now, I just released Backcountry Cover Up. Despite this not having a Christmas title, it is a Christmas book.
Oh, okay. So
you all, this is one of my favorites that I've written. I'm not bragging. I'm just being really honest. You know how some books kill you when you're writing?
I got to read that book then. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. But this is about a pyramid scheme gone horribly wrong. My main character's best friend is found dead. She's been involved in this shady elite ladies group. And the friend's brother teams up with the best friend to figure out what exactly happened to his sister. He's a deputy sheriff, just joined the force after he was a Marine. So he's a former Marine, just joined the force. The force is insisting that the sister died. It was an accident. They know it's not an accident. So they go undercover, figure out what's going on with this whole pyramid scheme situation. That's what that one's about. Coming up next, I've got book 2 in my West Coast Crime Story series coming out, Danger in the Nevada Desert. That will be out next spring. And then this Christmas, I've been killing people nonstop. And at Christmas time, I continue to just kill people. So, for Harlequin's 12 Days of Christmas Takeover, I've got a story for intrigue. It's called A Deadly Christmas Invitation.
Nice.
And it's about a woman who was on a leave after being injured. She made an arrest from a killer. She apprehended a killer, made the arrest, was injured during that time, and she's at home recuperating when she gets an invitation to this fancy weekend at this grand reopening of a really upscale swanky hotel. So, but the invitation is not what it seems. So, once she arrives there, she figures out exactly what it's all about. So A Deadly Christmas Scheme, that'll be out later this month for free on Harlequin's blog.
And I love the title. Love that.
Denise, is that the one that had me all like, oh, the promo, I don't need to watch this?
Yes, I really creeped Darby out. I'm sorry. I loved it so much. I told Darby I made this promo video at 4 a.m. I scared myself. I was
That's great. I love that. Okay.
Well, and wait, when is the serial killer Christmas situation coming out? It's because I need to know.
On Harlequin's blog.
Yeah.
That one, they haven't told me just yet, but it's their 12 Days of Christmas takeover.
Okay.
So I'll announce it on my social media once the link goes live. But again, that'll be free on the blog.
That's great.
So my latest is this one that Carrie was showing you earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie.
I love that cover.
I know. It's so sweet.
So it's a whole series with the same cat, and the cat lives in a Victorian bed and breakfast, and so she keeps matching all these humans and helping them fall in love. So I have this is the third book. You don't have to read them in order. And then that's just out now, and obviously that's a Christmas book. And that's sweet contemporary romance. And then what I've got coming next in my fantasy space, I've got the second book in my Liar's Crown Dominion series, which has nothing to do with Christmas. And then next Christmas, the fourth book of this series will come out.
I love that. That's awesome. Kaylie?
So my very first Harlequin is coming out. Yay!
I know it.
On the 27th. And that's
We'll be on the shelf together. Yes.
that is their Sweet Coastal Reunion, and it is a series about 3 foster sisters who grow up and leave their hometown because they have a lot of painful memories there. But their foster mother, who they really, really loved and cared about, gets Alzheimer's, and they come back to town to help her
Nice.
navigate the changes in her life, which actually a lot of that is based on my dad and my mom. So I had a lot to work with there. But so there's 3 books in that series, and then the Christmas book comes out next year. So there's a Christmas book next year. So
Awesome.
yeah.
That's great. Well, I don't have a Christmas book coming out. Last book that came out was London Calling. I mentioned this one earlier on the call. If you've read the Friendship Chronicles series, this is our 3rd friend who we're following, Robin Johnson, and she moves to London. She's got like this great promotion, moves to London. Robin has been successful at everything except for love. So she's like, I'm in a new country. I'm in a new city. I'm going to try and like do this thing. And it doesn't go well at first. I've got to send my characters to the ringer. So it doesn't go well at first, but eventually she meets that person that, it's like one of those, this is why I was supposed to be here kind of things. And it forces her to look at, what were some of the fears that she was holding on to that was stopping her from giving her, being vulnerable with someone else. So that's exciting. I've been promoting that. And I also recently announced that I signed a second deal with Harlequin.
Yay!
Series. So very happy about that. Books 4 through 6 will be starting in 2024. So I'll be writing those next year. Actually, I'm starting it now. And if you read London Calling, one of the characters that we meet in London Calling will be the main character for book 4. Her name is Olivia. I'm bringing her to the States. So I'm shaking the table again.
I like it.
Shaking the table in all the good ways. But yeah, excited about all those things.
I
Do
don't
you
know
see
if you
that
can see
question,
the
Darby?
question. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, Darby. It's somebody, Susan Wilson is asking your second book. She can't find it on the Mills and Boone website.
Well, that is just very upsetting. I thought that it was already out. I will have to check. And
That's Bloom Where You're Planted, Darby?
yeah, that's Bloom Where You're Planted. I thought that it was available in the UK.
Sure.
It had a UK title or UK cover.
Google it. Yeah.
But I will definitely look into that. Susan, if you don't mind DMing me, and then I can respond back to you directly.
I'm just looking it up right now. On the website and seeing if I search a different way, if it'll show. But it's not.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
it's available in Australia.
And the UK version of Amazon, though, I can find it.
Oh, okay.
But it says that. Why is it saying? Yeah, add to the basket. It looks like I can find it.
okay, Darby, you need to talk to your editor. This is not on purpose. It should be up there because your third book is up there.
Yeah,
The
that's what I was
fourth
looking
book is up
at.
there. And something must have glitched with the book page, so it's
And the
not
way it's
showing up in the search
Not
engine.
showing up, yeah.
So let your editor know because they need to fix that.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
talk to
Well,
Gail
listen to me
today.
being all bossy, but you know.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Susan, for alerting me.
Okay.
I want you to be able to read all the Friendship Chronicles. So-
Yes, of course.
Yeah, right. We don't want to like miss book 2.
no,
Right.
Yeah.
you don't have to read them in order, but still, I
But
don't want you to.
still, yeah. Well, I'm going to be on the shelf with Kaylie. This is coming out December 27th. The Hero and His Dog. And actually, the older couple. Well, she wasn't in the book, the hero's mother, but the hero's, well, he was her uncle, but he's like her father. You know, he raised her and her brother when her parents died. They're currently featured in an online read I have. If you go to the Harlequin website, it's called Finding Forever After 50.
Yes, it's really
we're-
good. It
We're
is
up to
adorable.
I think we're up to chapter 18.
Yeah.
And there's 20 chapters of it. So there's
So
like
it's
2 more days. Yeah, but I mean, you can read all the previous ones, or you can wait till all the chapters are up and read them all.
If you guys need it, I posted a link on my Facebook page if anybody's looking. So
I had fun with them because they were,
Yeah.
you know, older couple. She's 55, he's 59.
Love that.
And it was nice because I didn't have to ask my 30-something sons, you know, well, would you know this or would you know that or what would they be listening to? I
love that. Oh my God.
Well, and how it came about was because the little girl in Hero and His Dog, was talking to the hero, and he said something about his mother, and she said, "Oh, you have a mommy. Is she old?" And he says, "Well, she's about the same age as your grandfather." And I'm thinking, "Oh, and they're both single. Oh, I gotta see romance." Yeah. And the story practically wrote itself. It really did. I had fun with them.
I love it when characters tell you that they need a story too.
Yeah.
yeah.
They just
Sometimes that comes through readers because a reader will either post on my social media or they'll email me and they're like, "Are you going to write this person's story?" Because they really I'd like to read their story. And sometimes I'm like, nope. I'm not gonna write that story. And sometimes I'm like, oh,
yeah. Why not?
yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah. I'm going to write that story because it really resonates. Just real quick, my current book is Cinderella's Jilted Billionaire. And it is available exclusively on Amazon as an ebook, but it is available in print on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And I really love this story. It's very similar to my Harlequin Presents. I mean, it is. I wrote it for Harlequin Presents, and we had editorial differences, and so it is mine. And but I really love the story. I really love the angst of it. It's a typical me story, and I'm having fun with that. I can't tell y'all what's coming next because I do have 2 romances, one almost written, Her Greek's Billionaire, and another one which is a follow-on to a novella I wrote a long time ago, and readers have been asking for the brother story for like 10 years, and so I wrote it, and it's done. But I'm not sure when it's going to come out or how it's going to come out because this whole indie thing, it's just flux. It's just figuring it out. And I also have Masquerade in Egypt, and I'm still waiting to hear, but the editors have told me that they'll let me know before the holidays, so yay or nay. And if it's nay, then I will probably self-publish that book next year, rather than keep looking for a publisher, because I love the book and I want it out there. So just watch this space, I guess, y'all. I don't know what's happening, but I just want to take a real quick moment. I'm just going to post this real quick. Susan Wilson said she got the book. Oh, my book. Oh, thank you. I was thinking she got Darby's book. And I was like, great, I'm glad you found it on the Amazon. Let's see. Would that be the No, the brother's book. I'm not even sure who that is. I'm sorry. But the Brothers book I'm talking about is from my Children of the Moon series, but set in modern day in Montana. And I did a novella for Berkeley, and then we never actually did the other novella because they never did the anthology they sort of planned on doing. And so I was so busy with all of my contracts, I could not even squeeze in time to write that novella. But since I've sort of taken over my schedule, I had the time. And it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice to be able to do that and to make those decisions. So Montana, thank you. I hope you like it. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, but I do want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you.
Yes,
You guys are fantastic. I had the best time with y'all. Thank everyone who is watching right now and people who watch us later. We really appreciate the opportunity to share our love for books with you. Carrie and I have been hosting this for over a year now.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
But you guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Happy
holidays.
Hanukkah and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I just have to say, Lucy and Carrie, talking to you guys is one of my favorite things to do. So
Oh, thank you.
having me on here.
I
Nice
think we
to
can
meet
all.
some other authors, and Denise, you know, we're sisters. So there you go.
I was going to say, you know, so we all get invited to different things, and sometimes it might be a little bit awkward. This is always easy. It's always fun. And I just love being here. And I love connecting with other authors too. So being able, like Darby said, being able to chat with people is really nice.
Yeah.
It feels like a community room, doesn't it? I know it's online, but I feel like I miss the community of going to author groups and getting to do multi-author book signings. And we still do those once in a while, but I miss getting together. So this is one of the reasons we sort of started bringing guests in, because we're like, we want to talk books, but we also want to talk with authors. So, and we talk, you know, with reviewers and readers too. Like it's fun. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh, and Michelle says Merry Christmas. That's Marcia's daughter. Hi, Michelle.
Merry Christmas.
I love it. So, well, I'm going to end our broadcast. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And again, have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.